CMP and welcome to the CMP class. Before we start with our class today, I would love you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow this channel for more videos. Today we are going to look at a certain topic in surgery and surgical nursing. So most of the educational videos that I'm going to be doing are videos that are related to nurses, but even other programs that do certain sciences like we will be discussing can find these videos beneficial. Okay, so today we look at surgery, and in surgery today we are going to look at what we call intestinal obstruction. Now, the question is, what is intestinal obstruction? In order for you to clearly understand what intestinal obstruction is, it would be important for you to revisit your anatomy and physiology of the digestive system, because intestinal obstruction involves a certain section of the digestive system. In intestinal obstruction, we are looking at a section of the digestive system which we call the intestines. Okay, so how do we define intestinal obstruction? Now, intestinal obstruction is the disruption of the flow of the intestinal contents. So when we understand the function of the gastrointestinal tract, which is also just referred to as the digestive system, the gastrointestinal tract firstly starts from the mouth. Then it goes down to the esophagus, which is situated in the thoracic cavity. Then the esophagus goes through the diaphragm into the abdominal cavity, and just a short distance from the diaphragm, the stomach begins. From the stomach, we go to the small intestines. From the small intestines, we go to the large intestines. From the large intestines, we go to the rectum, and finally we go to the anus. So that is a digestive system. So what does the digestive system do? The digestive system is involved in ingestion, which is taking in of food. The digestive system is involved in digestion, breaking down of food. It is also involved in assimilation, where the nutrients are taken in the body, and it is also involved in egestion, taking out of food or taking out of wastes from the body. Okay, so in intestinal obstruction, what happens is this: the intestines are unable to allow food to flow. Since the food normally has to flow from the mouth to the esophagus, stomach, intestines, until the waste products are taken out. But when there is an obstruction in the intestines, it means that there will be a prevention of the flow of this intestinal content. Okay, so how do you define what we are calling intestinal obstruction? If you were to be asked this question in the exam and 5 marks has been allocated to this question, do you just say intestinal obstruction is the obstruction of the flow of intestinal contents? No, that will not earn you 5 marks. So how do you define it? If you want to define it well, you need to spice it up, with some of the causes and some of the symptoms. So we can say intestinal obstruction is the disruption of the flow of the intestinal contents, which can either be due to mechanical causes or functional causes, which will be evidenced by acute severe pain. Now, this acute severe pain is abdominal pain. Acute severe abdominal pain, muscle guarding, rebound tenderness, and many others. So that way, you would have defined intestinal obstruction in a way that someone may get meaning out of what you have defined. All right. So now, since we've defined what intestinal obstruction is, I would love us to move on to the causes. So see my next video in which I have discussed the causes of intestinal obstruction.